Freedom Pioneers of Africa.
Hujambo msikilizaji wetu, hii ni Radio Fadhila ikikutangazia kutoka Masasi, Tanzania. Tunakuletea kipindi cha Freedom Pioneers of Africa. Kukuletea hayo utakuwa na mimi mtangazaji wako Edwin Mpokasye. Matangazo yetu haya yatakujia kwa lugha mbili, ya Kiingereza na Kiswahili.
Freedom Pioneers of Africa.
Wiki hii katika mfululizo wa vipindi vyetu tutakuwa naye Ryan Katai kutoka nchi ya Zimbabwe. Yeye ni mwanzilishi wa kampuni inayoitwa Farm Heart huko Zimbabwe, ambaye anawaunganisha wakulima na masoko kwa kutumia mtandao. Ni mbunifu kutoka jamii yetu, anakutana na waunganishi wa kiulimwengu kuona ni kwa jinsi gani tunaweza kutumia mawazo yetu ya Afrika kuwa fursa kubwa. Hali ya baadaye ya Afrika hudhaniwa kuwa haitabiriki. Hata hivyo, Afrika ya sasa imejaa fursa nyingi tofauti kiuchumi na ubunifu wa maendeleo. Frederick Neumann Foundation for Freedom in Africa ni taasisi inayounga mkono ubunifu na sera barani Afrika na ulimwenguni. Kupitia Radio Fadhila wanakusudia kuwahimiza vijana kuchukua hatua na kuanza kufikiri jinsi watakavyoweza kutumia ushawishi wao wa ujasiriamali katika kuleta mabadiliko katika jumuiya na mafanikio ya mbele zaidi. Tutamsikia mbunifu wa kweli kutoka Afrika ambaye ameanzisha soko la mtandaoni ambamo anawaunganisha wakulima na masoko. Na kwa sasa tunakuleteeni moja ya mambo yanayohusiana na mada yetu. Mmoja kati ya watu 4 katika watu waishio chini ya jangwa la Sahara wanakadiriwa kuwa na ukosefu wa chakula na lishe. Hiyo ni taarifa ya mwaka 2017. Wakiwakilisha 3% ya watu milioni 821 wanaoteseka na baa la njaa ulimwenguni. Chakula kingi kinachozalishwa katika nchi za Sub-Sahara Afrika kinazalishwa na wakulima wadogo, huku uhifadhi ni duni na umasikini. Hata hivyo, wakulima wadogo ni muhimu kwa sababu kunatakiwa uingiliaji kati katika kuboresha chakula na lishe. Afrika ni nyumbani ambapo karibu nusu ya ardhi isiyotumika inapatikana, lakini bara letu linabaki ya kutokuwa na uhakika wa upatikanaji wa chakula. Mamilioni ya watu wanakabiliwa na njaa kama inavyoainishwa na Green Revolution in Africa AGRA.
You find in Zimbabwe the traditional systems were that there is only one popular physical market, that is in Harare, which is at least 300 kilometers from 300 kilometer radius from many of the farming areas that the farmers are found. So this was not reliable, this didn't work, and at many times farmers were being shortchanged. So just seeing this, that's when it created this decentralized system in the supply chain to allow farmers to really get returns and also supply closer to their own areas as well.
Unaweza kujinyakulia zawadi ya randi 100 za Afrika Kusini, sawa na shilingi za Tanzania 145 kwa kushiriki kwako katika majadiliano juu ya mada hii. Na hapa tusikie kidogo kuhusu Ryan Katai, mwanzilishi wa Farm Heart.
My name is Ryan Katai from Harare, Zimbabwe, and I'm a Freedom Pioneer of Africa.
Freedom Pioneers of Africa.
I grew up mainly in Nyazura, which is a town here in Zimbabwe. It's a rural town. I mostly grew up with my grandmother, who was very much involved in the agriculture sector. She had a farm where we did most of our farming activity. So growing up, seeing my grandmother waking up every day at 4 a.m., it's something that I really abhorred, right? I didn't like it. I was just like, whenever I get a chance to escape this life, I will. My co-founder and I were going through town and we met a lady who was selling tomatoes off a truck. Business wasn't going well for her. And we just stopped by there, had a chat with her, and we jumped on a truck and we started selling. So we managed to sell off the whole truck on that day. But then what we then figured out was that the produce that she was selling, the tomatoes, were actually in higher demand in other areas. And they were actually selling for more money she was selling for in Bulawayo. So you'd find that this is a situation that most farmers were facing, where they had to sell for lower prices in the regions they were, as compared to having to sell for higher prices in other regions where there was demand. Farmers just didn't know where the produce would sell for more, or even at a greater demand and even short time period from harvest to that selling point in price. So that's when we had that like we could create a platform where we could, aggregate all this data and offer it to farmers, allowing them to make informed decisions from the point of harvest to the point where they have to sell off all their produce. And I think that was the moment for us when we really knew that we had, stuck up on an idea that could actually work. So we built the platform, pitched it to 6 million we found in Tabazinduna, who were also farmers. And we waited up until they harvested and sold the produce through our platform, which they sold out. Then when you saw that worked, we then expanded it to other farmers as well. Earlier on, there wasn't much competition in the space. There was just physical procurement that was taking place, and those people in the supply chain later became our own partners with whom we're supplying the produce to. That was how we really got through into the market. So to be honest, it wasn't easy. We had a lot of back and forths. What we really were trying to do there was to really see how the farmers themselves saw our product. So our platform became simpler and simpler with more and more conversations we had with our first 6 pilot women that we started with. So as the business grew, we really faced a lot of challenges. The first one was hiring, right? How were we going to know we're hiring the right people who could buy into the vision directly? So that was really the first stumbling block that we had. The second one was we were young, right? And this is a very conservative sector, the agricultural sector. So, having conversations with either partners, corporates, and even farmers themselves was very difficult because, they would expect to see at the end of the line someone, their age, who probably looked the part, looked the farmer, looked experienced. But then we didn't have that at first. So we really had to explain ourselves. We really had to sell ourselves so many times. And it really took a lot of our time really to penetrate and establish ourselves. When we're developing future products for farmers, all I think about is my grandmother. Like, how could she have wanted to leave? And how could she have wanted to end? Like, how would my grandmother look at this service and say, I want to sign up? So the full sake of it is a service where farmers can get anything they want and also are getting so many benefits from it. They don't want to leave and are actually being positively impacted. So we have 2 main things that we really think we need right now: strategic partnerships and funding. So strategic partnerships are there just to help us move faster, gain trust in the communities that we're getting, and even understand our demographics, because the communities that you have here in Zimbabwe are different and they're separate, and cultures also are different. So having strategic partnerships help us with that. Funding will also help us reduce a lot of time spent, trying to acquire the customers that we need, and also to move faster in these communities. We already have a replicatable model that we plan to use, and that would actually make us move faster and penetrate the market.
Freedom Pioneers of Africa.
Kama tulivyosema hapo awali, unaweza kujishindia randi 100 za Afrika Kusini, sawa na shilingi 145, iwapo utashiriki katika majadiliano haya kwa njia ya simu. Tuambie, unafikiri nini? Unafikiri kwamba Ryan anaweza kufaulu kuhusu soko la mtandaoni kwa wakulima? Tunaungana na mshauri wa Ryan, Bianca Pretorius kutoka Global Connector. Anaanza kwa kumfundisha na kumpa ushauri kwa mambo mengi kwa Ryan na Farmhat.
Freedom Pioneers of Africa.
This is Ryan. Hello.
Hello, this is Bianca Pretorius calling from Berlin, Germany.
Hi, Bianca.
Hi, Ryan. I've heard about Farmhat, and I thought I really need to talk to this person who created that fantastic idea. So am I right in thinking that Farmhat is this platform that helps farmers to basically get better prices for the products they're creating on their farmland and to get that to the customers? more easily through this AI platform. So FarmHat, it seems to be this platform that you use AI to match demand and best prices so that if I'm a farmer, I can increase this already so little income that I have to actually get the best possible for me on the market. And then you also organize the logistics to get basically the potato to the person that eats it, or to the big hotel company that wants to cook potatoes. Is this cutting it? Is this what FarmHat does?
Thank you so much for the call. Definitely, that's what we're doing at FarmHat, and we're super excited to be adding more and more services that makes it more convenient for farmers to keep on doing their business. So basically what we envision is to ensure that farmers are connected with the best technologies available to reach out to very valuable customers that are available in the urban areas, where they have almost all the customers that need their produce directly without needing to stretch a hand. So that's basically what we're doing, and we do look forward to adding more services to that.
Interesting. What I really loved about this idea is that basically in the vision, it cuts out the middleman of you're a farmer and you spend all your day at hard, tough physical work to actually create food. And then all the middlemen that do the logistics and put it on the market, they take so much from the money that it's really painful of being a farmer. And to basically use technology to make the process of getting the food to the fork, this is where technology really can make a difference. Thinking about this big vision that you're building, I also thought, Brian will probably have a lot of challenges.
So to begin with, the data was the first problem that we had. So most of our markets are physical, where farmers actually go from farms and just go to set physical markets, at least one per every province here in Zimbabwe. But then we have major one in the capital city, where most of bulk of the produce is actually sold. So you find whenever you need to collect that data, you actually need to be physical on the ground. So we couldn't stretch our resources that far to get to 10 provinces at once, in as much as we wanted that. But then over time, we began to see ourselves stretching that, and even seeing other people, volunteers even coming up and even uploading the data themselves. So we are now more closely monitoring 4 provinces so far, the major ones, with plans to, by the end of this year, to actually expand to 10 provinces here in Zimbabwe. Now, when you get that data, that's when you compound it and you actually make it make sense to the farmer in the simplest way possible. And we have also noted that, most farmers face logistical challenges. So right now, we have our own fleet, but then we're continuously now adding partners to meet the demand that's coming from the farmers themselves, to ensure that, they get affordable logistics at least.
Technology will keep eating up every industry. And so looking forward, hopefully, if we hear to this podcast in 20 years, we're going to laugh about it, how hard it was to convince the farmers, and will hopefully be the normal default setting. And my hope lies in the next generation, because all these farmers have sons and daughters that might take over the farm, and that they might be more open to digital products. So when you think ahead in the future of FarmHat, what is it that you need right now to get to the next stage of that journey?
So right now, what we're barely really looking for is a strategic partnerships, right? We're looking more into exports right now as we're looking into expanding by next year into Zambia and Malawi. We're looking more into strategic partnerships in these regions, and also looking for symbiotic relationships with our own farmers as well, right? Looking at the export market. Then as well, we're also looking into funding, because we've just thrust a bit of our own target market. Right now, we have a whole of farmers that is waiting to be served, but then we just don't have the resources to address them all right now.
Interesting. Can we talk a little bit about the actual size of FarmHat right now? So how many farmers are on board on the platform? How many corporate clients is there receiving the food? What's the current size of FarmHat? So
right now, farmers that we're reaching per year, as of last year, it's 100,000. We have capacity to reach 500,000 if only we can get the resources to do so. We are an almost 15-strong team, very young team, by the way, of individuals that are working towards this vision right now.
So basically, what you need to do when you want to build a business, want to build innovation, is think it from the customer. So find distribution to your product or to the service you're building is go where they are. So in your case, you realize, I don't want to build a website where people have to go to. I use the thing they're already on, which is WhatsApp. So it's the most simple, intuitive way for them to join a shift in how they do their everyday business. The second thing is like build on the community that already exists. So farmers are probably friends with other farmers and are in unions, are in some kind of associations with a bunch of farmers. So try to make the growing effect of customers automatic by building on existing networks and talking to networks. That also, of course, goes to the team. So I'm sure there's plenty of people that already have worked in the farmers, logistics, food kind of industry, and that they want to be part of the new thing, part of the thing that makes the industry better. So go through LinkedIn, look for older people that have maybe spent their career there, and I don't know, sweet talk them into join your team, because then they can build something with impact, something that will actually make a difference. And then you have in your team people with experience and credibility that no other young digital team has.
Thank you so much, Bianca. It was actually a pleasure and a heartwarming conversation.
Take care.
Freedom Pioneers of Africa.
Kama mliweza kusikia mazungumzo kati ya Ryan Katai na Bianca Pretorius kutoka Berlin, ambaye amesema, nimesikia habari zako juu ya mtandao wako ambao unawezesha kupata masoko na bei nzuri na kuongeza kipato kwa wakulima kutokana na mazao wanaozalisha. Na vile vile unawatafutia masoko ya viazi na kuweza kuwafikia wateja katika mahoteli. Wakulima wanatumia teknolojia kuwafikia wateja, kuondokana na mtu kati ambao wanajinufaisha sana kuliko mkulima mwenyewe. Farmhat wanatarajiwa kuingia katika soko la Zambia na Malawi. Kwa mfano hapa kwetu Masasi, hawa wanaonunua choroko mtu kati hawa, je, wakulima hawawezi kutumia teknolojia hii ya mtandao kuweza kuwasiliana na wateja wao? Hili ndio swali kubwa hapa ambalo linaulizwa katika mazungumzo ya Ryan Katai na Bianca Pretorius. Hata lini mkulima wa Masasi atamtegemea mtu kati kuweza kumtafutia masoko?
Freedom Pioneers of Africa.
Unafikiri kuwa uwanja wa majadiliano ambao Ryan ameuanzisha mtandaoni utawasaidia wakulima wadogo, na ni kwa sababu gani? Unafikiri ni kwa sababu zipi Afrika inapoteza chakula kingi? Kama ungetengeneza teknolojia ya kuwasaidia wakulima au walaji, ingeonekanaje? Kuna tofauti gani katika jumuiya yako? Unaweza kufikiri ni kitu gani ambacho jumuiya hiyo inahitaji ambacho kingeweza kubuniwa na kusaidia jumuiya yako? Basi tunakaribisha simu mbalimbali ili tuweze kuwa na majadiliano na hatimaye tutamtangaza mshindi. Basi kwa kujiunga katika majadiliano, unaweza kutumia ujumbe wako kwa namba ile ya 0622562231. Unaweza ukatutumia ule ujumbe wako 0622562231. Vile vile unaweza kutumia voice note, na katika shindano hilo unaweza kujipatia randi za Afrika Kusini 750 kila wiki ukituma voice note kwa WhatsApp 27729174356. Nitarudia 27729174356. Basi kwa wale mliojiunga nasi katika majadiliano haya, sisi kutoka Radio Fadhila hatuna la ziada, tukitumai kwamba mtaweza kuchangamkia fursa za kutuma voice note na kuweza kujishindia zawadi nono kama tulivyoeleza hapo mwanzo. Basi tukutane tena wiki ijayo. Ni mimi mtangazaji wako Mpokasye, nikutakie tu usikizi mwema.
If you're a budding entrepreneur interested in innovation within the African context, or just curious about digital developments on the continent, then maybe you should join the conversation with Freedom Pioneers of Africa. Catch weekly radio broadcasts where local community changemakers meet with global connectors to see how we can shift Africa's big thoughts into great opportunities. Tune in weekly from the beginning of May to the end of July 2022 and learn to innovate improve, and implement change in your community whilst becoming a freedom pioneer of Africa. This initiative is proudly brought to you by the Friedrich Naumann Foundation for Freedom in Africa.